What's happening, everybody? It is week 2, Monday night, doubleheader showdown time. So we're going to run through my favorite plays here for Monday night. We've got 2 games tonight. You can obviously play the 2-game slate if you want to. I personally would rather split them up and go showdown. I am going to play the 2 games as well. But yeah, we're going to play some showdown as well. So here we go. Coming in at what I think might be the highest owned person in showdown I've seen in quite some time is Josh Allen. He is likely going to be, I don't know, somewhere in the 35 to 45% owned range in the captain. So whenever somebody is that highly owned in the captain spot, there's always a scenario in where I like fading that person. Now, it's going to be very difficult tonight because, look, I think that the Bills are going to absolutely kick the living hell out of the Titans. I think that there's no shot that the Titans have to keep this close. But, that's my opinion. I don't know if that's going to be right. However, I like Josh Allen quite a bit. Derrick Henry is somebody that, again, full fade. I get the reason for playing him, but no thank you. A guy who's not going to go very highly owned, who could be the beneficiary of Josh Allen, is going to be Stephon Diggs. Now, I really, really like Stephon Diggs tonight. I might like Gabe Davis more just because of the injury issue, and he was limited yesterday. Looks like he's going to be fine. At sub 4% ownership in the captain spot, man, I think that is something he's not a lot of people are going to play him. The optimals don't like him. But I think that a major hammer spot could be Gabe Davis. On the Titans side of the ball, I really think Austin Hooper is set up for a pretty good night tonight. And I also think that Robert Woods is somebody you can go ahead and take a pretty good stab on. Both of those guys are going to be fairly under-owned just because, it's one of those things. I think that also the second running back, Hassan Haskins, is going to be interesting. At only $1,200, you don't need a ton from him to pay off. And you can really, really do some interesting things if you put him in your lineup. Isaiah McKenzie and Jamison Crowder, for me, it's a coin flip between those two. McKenzie's probably got the higher upside with some deep bombs. I like Crowder in more of a Bills coming from behind / close game situation. I don't love it when I think that they're going to be blowing them out. Devin Singletary is another one on the Buffalo side. I mean, I think that the build that I'm going to be leaning toward tonight is a full-on 5-1. So 5 guys from Buffalo, 1 guy from Tennessee. And really not just trying to overcomplicate it. I mean, I love Devin Singletary at 7,400. I love Tyler Bass, the kicker for the Bills. There's just not a whole hell of a lot for me to get excited about on the Titans side of the ball. Treylon Burks, maybe if he plays, is something that could be interesting. If he's out, Cody Hollister. But again, I just don't know if I'm playing Nick Westbrook-Ikhine or whatever. Now, I think that, maybe playing Tannehill does have some sort of an interesting appeal to me because I think he's going to have to throw the ball quite a bit tonight. Buffalo defense is also pretty fairly in play at 4,600. Now, Buffalo's defense is not great. But I mean, if you're telling me that Ryan Tannehill's going to have to be throwing the ball quite a bit tonight, then, that might be something I'm looking for. So quick recap before we get to the Vikings and Eagles game. I think Stephon Diggs probably going to be my favorite captain selection of the night. I also really like Devin Singletary at captain. I don't know that I'm playing any anybody at captain unless it's Derrick Henry. I do like a situation where if you're going with a really, really contrarian build, in Robert Woods being the captain and going to Titans heavy build. I don't think anybody's going to have that build. And running with Josh Allen in that. Um, you know, Robert Woods, if I'm gonna have to pick a captain on the Titans, it's probably him because I think he's gonna get the most volume. But really like some of the other ancillary pieces, love Gabe Davis, love Isaiah McKenzie. I like Hassan Haskins. Bills D's got some merit for me, but really that's about it. I'm just gonna load up on the Bills on this one, and hopefully that it comes through, and hopefully all of that. It's kind of similar to last night where everything just got funneled to Aaron Jones. I'm hoping that everything kind of just gets funneled to Stephon Diggs tonight. You know, and maybe Gabe Davis doesn't play a lot, but that's kind of where I'm going with that. Let's go back to the slates here and let me pull up the Minnesota and Philadelphia. Now, I think this one is going to be interesting. I think we're in for two pretty high scoring games tonight. I think they're both going to be hitting the over, so I'm personally going to be parlaying both games on the over. This one starts at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. Jalen Hurts may rival Josh Allen in this one for captains, showing up in the optimals about 36% of the time, which is pretty crazy. I'll be really interested to see once ownership comes out for this game what Hurts' ownership is, because if his captain ownership is only going to be like 15 to 25%, I mean, you kind of just have to play as much Hurts as you can get in the captain spot. I think Thielen is really interesting tonight. Obviously, Jefferson is going to be the focal point of them trying to stop him beating them, which is going to be difficult. But so I think Thielen has some pretty good appeal for me in this tonight. Really, Dalvin Cook is really priced up, so I think he's going to be not very highly owned. But you saw last week, you can run the ball on the Eagles defense. Excuse me. AJ Brown, I think, is just an absolute smash spot here. I don't think you can really stop him. I love Devonta Smith's price at 5,200 though. The price discrepancy between AJ Brown and Devonta Smith is too far apart. AJ Brown is literally double the price of Devonta Smith. And on the showdown slate, these are the exact type of people that we're looking for. Now, I know that Philadelphia's focus is going to try to be run the ball, just kind of like they always do, which is why Miles Sanders is priced up to 8,000. And Kenneth Gainwell, who's really not getting a ton of volume, is all the way up at 5,000. But I really love Devonta Smith at 5,200. I think he's somebody that I'm going to have probably in about 30 to 40% of my lineups. You could play him in flex. If you play him in captain and he goes off, that's just kind of a slate smasher for you. KJ Osborne, I think, is a really interesting play. And then obviously we are the Irv Smith podcast here. There's going to be a lot of emphasis put on stopping, the other parts of the Minnesota defense. And I think that this is going to be one of those nights where I'm definitely going to be playing an Irv Smith captain lineup, as well as just a lot of Irv Smith in general. Punt plays in this one are tough. I think Boston Scott is probably about the lowest you can go on the punt plays tonight. Zach Pascal is interesting, but I just don't think that there's enough for him. Even if he gets a touchdown, 1,400, maybe, right? Quez Watkins at 3,200 would probably be my preferred if I'm going to punt a wide receiver. But again, he's only going to get like 2 or 3 targets, and he's going to have to capitalize on one of them in order for this whole thing to make sense, right? Kirk Cousins is I don't know, they're going to be on the road. really interesting. Like I said, I want to see the ownership that comes out and see where kind of people are going, and that'll really dictate how I build my lineups. But just off of the optimals and how I think this game is going to go, I like I like Adam Thielen. I like AJ Brown. Oh, excuse me, I got the yawns right now. I like AJ Brown. I really like the stack of Hurts, Brown, and then Devonta Smith. And if you wanted to run at 4, you could even run Goddard, run back with Osborne, and then like a kicker, and then you're going to be good. I think I probably prefer Jake Elliott in this one a little bit more. Sirianni has shown he's tending to be a little bit more conservative and is not going to go for it as much on 4th down. So I think that the Eagles might kick quite a few field goals and just take the points, kind of go from there. But that's about it. Obviously in the optimals, Hurts is coming up 36% of the time in the optimals as the optimal captain. That is pretty insane. We've got 2 quarterbacks tonight that the optimals just love. I'll be really interested to see everyone's ownership once it comes out. But I think this is a really fun slate, and I hope you guys have a great evening. Personally, I think that the Bills and the Eagles are going to be the 2 winners tonight. Going with obviously the 2 favorites. I think the Bills cover pretty easily. I'm not so sure. I think it could be pretty close between the Eagles and the Vikings, and we could see maybe like an overtime situation. But I do like the over in both games tonight. I'll be betting the over in both, and I will be parlaying those together. Have a great night. Thanks, guys.